Chapter 32, The Mouthbreather. But when Michael was in prison at the time, he was seriously feeling like he was going to lose his mind if he didn't feel the touch of a woman again. I need it. I'm not a perv. Well, maybe a little, but I need it. It's like a spell. I just need to feel sane, really. Thought Michael as I Want to Know What Love Is by Foreigner began to play. Yeah, well, I'm not just a sex fiend. I do have other sides to me, too. I know what it is, Roxy. The only dedicated person Michael did have in prison to visit him during conjugal visits had been Annabelle Lovely. She had been a hell of a trooper the first year, coming in with salutes, coming twice a week sometimes, and she always had a fresh smile on her face with each visit. But then she eventually decided to move on to LA to pursue that dream of hers. Stupid girl. Who dreams of being a porno star? Women usually go to Hollywood wanting to be some big star actress and then fall into doing porno when they can't pay the bills. And I fucking hate pornos too, especially the ones today with the VHS boom. They used to be like movies, at least, with stupid silly storylines of chicks with clits in their throats. Stupid silly 70s porno with that bounce chicka bounce down whatever disco soundtrack. They were at least entertaining in other ways besides straight up sex being involved. And the performers were more like real actors and actresses back then, but now it's really just another form of prostitution with all the women they round up off the streets of LA short on funds and with no means of getting back. What dickless loser watches that shit to get off anyways? Go out and get laid. Go out and get some of the real stuff. Don't sit around jerking off to some skank faking it on screen. And it's so depressing to watch, too, seeing how they're faking it and how little chemistry there is. And then Michael felt like confessing something to himself. Fine, I've been watching a ton of that shit lately. Well, until that stupid pigtailed girl, what her name was. What was her name? Michael was then expecting himself to get pissed off again for another chick he'd fucked and couldn't remember the name of. That is until, fuck that twitchy chick. As if I give a shit remembering a stupid wastoid like her. I can't stand drug fiends. They have no fucking souls anymore after all the shit they've put through their systems. And me, personally, I like to enjoy myself with the senses I've got. So I don't need a warp to enjoy something else. And that there over that matter was the truth. Michael had no patience or passion for that whole yellow submarine crap. No drugs. No nothing. Not even pot. Fuck yeah, all about that war on drugs shit here. Ronnie be instigating. Except when it came to the booze. Hey, that's not a drug. When it came to alcoholism, Michael was fine, I know. Let's not get into it. I ain't interested in getting into that topic. Let's stick to porno right now. Okay, but anyways, back to porn. Yeah, fuck porn too. As much as I've watched on my VHS machine before that bitch broke it, and before deciding never to do so again, I could always tell those girls were faking it, since they wouldn't even look at the douchebag that was fucking them in the eyes. They'd get fucked raw, inside out, as they'd moan like a banshee, but hardly would there ever be any eye contact. And you could tell a lot by a person that won't look at another person in the eyes, especially with such a transaction going on. But when they would, they looked pissed. Like they couldn't believe the douche that they were fucking that, or like they couldn't believe that they had resorted to doing this as a living. There's this whole other language we speak with our eyes. And I guess most people don't see it, for why else would anyone find the garbage you see in porn as sexy? But I could see it, and it was obvious to me, seeing that what those women were thinking and feeling, and what I saw and felt so off-putting. Those girls would look so miserable, and that was what I found most depressing of all. Forcing a smile for the cameraman as some asshole would try to force their cocks all the way down the poor woman's gullet. Fucking Annabelle dreams to be a porno star? Who fucking has that? So fucking stupid of her. And I'm sure she's part of that world now, too. And finally realizing how much of a big mistake she's made. Fuck, it's all my fault. I sort of got her into that whole thing to get back at. Then Michael shook his head and denied himself going back into that line of thought as he had in prison. Men could be such douchebags, throwing out all that monies to tempt women into that type of lifestyle. Like with Latoya here, having to drop a decent job as a nurse and being tempted to become some escort for some Armani cocksucking loser. I can see from the apartment money had a lot to do with it. She was missing the money she'd get being a nurse, so this was all she had left. But anyways, damn, Annabelle's stupid girl. Although I do miss her a lot. All the moments we shared, I remember how I taught her what it meant to be with me. She got on top and started bouncing up and down like a cutesy little bunny rabbit with her mouth wide open, making cutesy little playful honking noises, moans, while facing the ceiling, completely in a world of her own, with raindrops and lollipops, which isn't how it's supposed to be like. It was like she'd seen 120 pornos herself, today's pornos, mind you, and had no clue what real sex is about. That's another thing I fucking hate about pornos. They teach people how not to have sex. Annabelle that night, all she did was moan for the sake of moaning in a world of her own, not even looking at me. But I got fed up with it eventually, so I sat up, then grabbed her by the hair, bent her head down, breaking her out of that fairy tale she was in, and forced a domineering yet compassionate stare into her eyes. As I got raw and real on her, at first, she was all deer in headlights when she noticed I was there. Yeah, noticed I was there. I mean, yeah, hello. Pleased to meet you, silly girl. Michael then chuckled out loud. What's on your mind? Asked Latoya then. Nothing, responded Michael very quickly. And after a couple of minutes, when I had her completely captivated, that's when she started trembling, gushing like crazy and moaning, but for real this time. As her voice changed, it began tearing up. And that's how you know. That's how you do it. Fuck. Fuck Meg Ryan, that Harry Met Sally movie. Fuck that scene. No, sweetie. Maybe Bill Crystal wouldn't be able to tell, but I sure as hell would. Because I know if you were with me making some sweet heavenly music, you'd really wouldn't be sounding like no earth angel, but a hell's angel. As you'd have bees and bats flying out of your lips and ass. Don't fuck with this, for I am that Mr. Zero. Wait, what year does this story of yours take place, Michael? Huh? It takes place in the 80s. What? You know that? Yeah, but Harry Met Sally came out in July of 1989. Okay, so? That's still the 80s. Yeah, but you're claiming Ronald Reagan is president right now. Yeah, it's the 80s. He was the president in the 80s. So what? Yeah, but not in July of 1980. Hey. Enough with the technicalities. This is an 80s Odyssey. Let's just leave it at that. Yes, but still, which years is the... I said, let's just leave it at that. Fine. Let's go back to talking about Annabelle. Yeah, let's do so. Ahem. Fuck, I miss her though, Annabelle. Miss that cute accent of hers that I first confused for being Scottish and how she tried to teach me to talk dirty with it. While she sit on my lap as I finger her. Real sex can actually involve having conversations during the act. It's not all boning. How some idiots take it to be because all they know is what they learn watching fake-ass pornos. I mean, here's the thing about pornos again. I didn't get that Texas gal until after the third day of being out. The first 3 days, I did nothing but sit around watching that VHS crap. And I swear it fucked me up and made me worse with women. Maybe I wasn't being all that rusty. It was a porno fucking with my shit, really. Porno's got me super sensitive with visual cues and in the wrong way. Hell, I'm still kind of fucked up by it. As I'll still now and then stare at their tits during a conversation, get loop and zoom-ins and fall into a trance. Like I do watching porn, completely lose track of thought of time. Shit makes you disconnected with reality. Fuck, I hate them. Man, do I miss her, though. Thought Michael again as he really began to remember her. I miss the way she used to rub my underbelly for some time while staring up at me with those jewels of hers. Miss how she would stick her tongue in my ear and start feeling her way inside. Damn what I would give to have that. Although Nikki would tongue my ear too. Ugh. After Annabelle had left, Michael had barely been able to get any of his old flames to come visit. He did get that Italian girl of Cobra Kong's named Cecilia to come a couple of times. Michael then shook off the depressing thoughts he had over Annabelle and having to go into porno and how he missed her, and tried to cheer himself up remembering Cecilia. Damn, those hooters were fucking huge. You could suck on them for days and days straight and they still have more milk to give. Damn, she loved it too. Damn. Michael smiled a bit, but also grew depressed remembering how fleeting those moments were with that Italian girl, who also moved away.